afternoon, freaks. I'm here to give Sagittarius a read straight from the hip with lots of love. And we're looking into this Venus conjunction series that we are experiencing throughout this month of March. We already had one meetup of Jupiter, your ruling planet, Sagittarius, and Venus back on the 2nd. We have two more coming up, one on the 22nd, and that's going to be right after that vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere, as well as that comes in on the 20th. And then on the 21st, we have the new moon in Aries. So it's a big initiation point. It's when things really kick off. I feel you bringing a lot of fire forward with this new moon. I got big Ace of Wands energy for you all. There's some action you're taking. I think it's a bit bold. You have luck on your side. Fortune favors the bold. I got so many downloads coming in for you all, so I'm just going to dive right into it, all right? We're just going to be doing a mix of channeling and pulling whatever cards want to be played with here, all right? Um, yeah, it's pretty wild. It's an action-packed time, okay? And with your ruler in the main frame with Venus there, and that conjunction, you're going to find that there's so much that's moving into expansion in your life. I also feel like you're expanding on a heart level, like on a soul level. I think you're going to find a lot of synchronicity coming in really strongly for you. Life's going to take on kind of a magical, um, the kind of the greater mysteries kind of hue. I mean, even when I was shuffling your deck, while I was waiting for the countdown to wrap up, I had the High Priestess flip up in middle of this deck. And I've never had that happen. So it's kind of an interesting moment there, but I felt like it had a strong message. I think that your intuition is really cued in right now. I feel like you're also kind of diving into the mysteries. I feel this. Look at this. Justice. Okay, there's that Libra energy. That's that Venus. Venus is Libra's ruler, right? We got the Taurus North Node action going on right now, which is the destiny. This is also about karmic balance. Okay, I feel like you're coming into a place of balance. You may have been working through something quite deeply during Libra season. So back at like the tail end of September through October of last year, there might have been something that came up back then that's coming around the bend again for you now. I just want to, before I start to go too deep into this, I want to let you all know that this is for any strong Sagittarius placements. Okay, so Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, we're throwing Saturn and Pluto into the mix just because of the astrology and what's going on right now. Likewise, if you have a loaded ninth house, a stellium, three or more planets in the ninth house, or one of those significant placements there, like I mentioned, you'll likely find resonance with this energy. Your Jupiter placement in your chart is particularly important too. So if you don't have a natal chart, you can get one for free at AstroDienst, DIENST.com. And I'm not affiliated with them in any way, not getting any kind of kickback, nothing like that. But they're just a really good free resource where you can get a lot of information on astrology, and you can get your chart there. They can hook it up, and they have all kinds of things you can look into, like your progressions and all that. So totally recommend them. Okay. Yeah, back to it. There's a little bit of that energy too. I feel that with you. It's kind of like you're moving into expansion. So when you start to move into expansion, there's, there's this place of kind of moving more into that air and ether sort of element. And you can get a little kind of like diverted in your attention. Your attention can kind of be all over the place. And it's because it's almost like you're starting to see all your different options, all right? And this is lighting something up in you. I think you're honing in on a particular direction you want to head in, though. I think this has something to do with karmic balance. I also have this feeling that um, I feel like I'm getting a bit of like what came in with the Fiacus, where there's a bit of like calling something out, speaking a certain truth. And also like it's upright, balance in your favor, okay? Um, but I definitely feel there's something you're balancing too in matters of the heart. There's something you're balancing in matters of the heart. Let's dive into it. Let's see what the cards have to say here. I did pick up a lot of stripped down energy for you. You know, it's like you don't want any pretentiousness. You don't want any airs. You don't want any mask. I mean, there's no accident that I'm not wearing like a stitch of makeup today. Coming here to do this read, everything that comes into a read, the way I feel before I even, press record on the camera, it all like communicates something to me about the energy I'm about to dive into. I feel like you just want to see things as they are. You don't want any complication. You don't understand why things have to be complicated when really they are quite simple. Maybe you don't realize the way that you make it complicated. Oh, right as I said that, look at it. This is so strange. I had it happen again. Random card, flip up in middle of the deck, Three of Swords. Right? This is around some kind of heartache. There's some kind of hurt here, I think the hurt is a misunderstanding. It's complication. Yeah, what's required? Bottom of the deck energy, communication. Communication. You know, it takes work, right? It takes work to have healthy communication, especially when you feel really activated about something. I feel like things are going to start moving in a more productive direction in terms of communication for you with this particular cycle. And I think you'll be able to see things like at face value. Maybe people are kind of going to get out of their heads and, get out of, having to have certain social posturing or whatever to come off a certain way. I don't know. There's like the little bit of this piece about like image coming into play or something like that. I feel like in terms of where you're at, not only in matters of the heart of just not wanting any artifice, but I also feel like it's coming into like your career and how you earn a living. You're not wanting to play the game. You don't want to have any kind of like focus on image. It's not really important to you. Um, you're looking for authenticity. That's what I'm getting. You might have some different views, about how you want to bring your work forward. I feel like those of you that are working on heading in your own direction, particularly if it has something to do with communication, anything in the area of expansion with communications, in particular, anything involving the World Wide Web, anything you're doing online, anything you're doing in terms of any kind of platform, something along these lines. I mean, this energy is really coming in front and center anyway because of the Pluto going into Aquarius on the 23rd. That's very expansive. If you have any Aquarius placements in your chart, you'll really feel that. Likewise, if you have any Scorpio placements in your chart, you will especially feel that. If you're getting into any kind of work around putting yourself on a platform where you can engage with a wider audience, where your reach becomes much more significant, you're going to see a lot of growth in that area. Maybe you had attempts at this in the past, it didn't quite go the way you wanted it to. It was a little disappointing. You'll find forward movement, success with that. It'll also free you up in terms of other areas in your life. Like you won't have to just be rooted to one place. If you want to be kind of mobile, if you want to be able to like travel more, go out and kind of like experience life more, not be chained to a desk, I see that it's going to afford you that opportunity. I feel like you're moving away from some kind of heavy disappointment though. And it's like through this disappointment, there's been this desire to kind of like revamp your whole life. And you're tired of playing a role and you don't want to have any kind of, bullshit coming your way as far as things just being done for the sake of kind of like gaining acceptance, gaining acceptance, or this is just the way you play the game. That might be coming in really strongly too for creative types. You might really feel frustrated with it, all the kind of like the rules around, how to express yourself creatively. You don't want to play the game. I'm getting this really strongly. Like you're just wanting no nonsense, tell it like it is. It's that blunt side. It's that blunt edge coming out. It's the blunt edge of the sword, it's like, hey, there's a lot of hurt that's caused when there isn't just, directness. Sometimes people don't value that about Sagittarius. They think that their words can cut, maybe there is something that you communicated to somebody that caused like a separation. Maybe you had been working together nicely. Your energies were paired together nicely, and then there was some communication that took place. Maybe it was a little sharp. Maybe it was a little sharp because of your bluntness, because of your directness, I also feel like some things you really held in for a long time, and there's things that you need to say. They might land with a thud, that might be hard for certain people to hear. And at the same time, it's necessary for you to stay true to yourself. I mean, I feel like you've been doing the work. I feel like you've been working on yourself. I also feel like you've really been working hard to create stability in your life. I don't think that that's something that came easy for you. You have your own shit that you've had to rise up out of in your own life. You've had your own heartaches, you've had your own traumas, you've had your own stuff, to grapple with. And I think maybe this is a piece that a lot of other people kind of ignore, don't acknowledge, Yeah. I feel like you've done a lot of healing work, and this is as you've done this healing work, you've realized certain things that have kind of blocked you in your life, have blocked your fulfillment. I think it's really shifted with your work. There's something about your work now where it's like I can't keep doing what I'm doing. I gotta do something different. I gotta switch it up. And there's this big piece about your work really needs to be a representation of who you are, like who the real you is. That's what I feel. It's almost like you did some kind of work, or you headed down a certain career path because it seemed like, well, this is just what you're supposed to do, or there might have been some kind of outside pressure around that. Maybe it's just the way things have been done in your family, or maybe, you attach some meaning to it, that when you achieve that level of success, it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Something like you redefining what success means to you. It means something on a deeper level. Success is like a certain level of freedom to really be who you are. That's what success is, when you get to move forward in the world and be supported just in being who you are, letting your natural expression come through. I see a lot of growth and development for you in finances. I also feel like there's some kind of communication you're having to iron out with someone, where maybe there were some kind of very pointed words exchanged. I see there's some kind of communication flow coming in. So let's see what this is about. All right. Get more insight into this, spirit. What is coming in for the Sagittarius collective with this Venus Jupiter conjunction? Ted says somebody's feeling a little grumbly in this situation. Yeah, somebody's feeling grumbly, Ted. He said, mm-hmm. Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. They got some grievances. They have some things they need to air. Yes. You want out? You want out? Huh? Hold on a minute. Here you go. Go ahead. Maybe you want out of something. Maybe you're like, this isn't working for me anymore. Maybe you want out of something. Maybe you want out of a job. Maybe you want out of a relationship. Maybe you want out of a lifestyle, Maybe you want out of a habit or some kind of addiction, something that has kept you in a space of really struggling for too long. And you realize that if you want things to move forward in your life in a positive way, it's going to really require that you do the work. You got to do the work. Yeah. Oh my God. What is going on with you today? I've never had this happen. Again, while I was shuffling, it flipped up in the deck. Judgment. That's a fact. I also feel like judgment coming in with the Three of Swords. There's something that is springing back. Judgment can be a card of, it's also kind of a karmic card. I feel like it has something to do with closing a particular karmic cycle. All right. A cycle with somebody that, there's some kind of healing of the heart that needs to happen here. I believe it's in relation to communication, right? This is coming back around the bend. There's some kind of healing communication that needs to happen in this situation. But I feel like it's going to take work. It's not going to be just smooth sailing. And I think it requires that each individual in the situation needs to hold their piece of that work. It's not something that will work out with one person kind of trying to hold everything down. I mean, you see this. It's going to take many hands. Look at all these hands. Sometimes it does. It takes a village. Let's see if Ted wants to come back in. Yes, he does. Okay. There's a little bit of a storm brewing out there. It's a little bit cold. Maybe somebody's wanting to come in out of the cold. They're tired of bobbing around on the rough waters and not seeing shore in sight. There's something that brings a certain kind of stability in this communication coming through. I feel like it's something that's bothered both people, both parties, all parties. Some of you are dealing with group dynamics, maybe friendship circles, or there's some kind of beef that got started on the job that's causing a lot of issues, creating a sense of instability that coming in for some of you. This can be within a family dynamic, but I feel like there's some kind of communication coming in that's very stripped down. And when I think of stripped down, right, what's the difference between, let's look at it like this, okay? So normally when I come on here, I wear makeup, all right, just because, why not? I like to wear makeup sometimes, and it's also, I'm in front of a lot of people. And I've already, throughout my life had an issue with having my picture taken or being on video, but I had to get over it because there was certain things that I needed to get out there. There's messages I have to deliver. All right. So I have to follow my life path work and do what I'm here to do. I feel like, when you think of that, just in terms of how people show up on social media, with having to have a certain image, how does that feel in comparison to talking to somebody when it's stripped down and you can just see them plain as day, no mask, no artifice, no posturing. There's this piece here that I think what's coming through is people are feeling self-protective. And because they're feeling self-protective in this situation, the communication is coming through distorted. It's coming through this sort of projection of posturing, posturing, throwing the weight around, maybe, perhaps, maybe just seeming unapproachable, could be, I think there's a different view needed in this situation. All right. There's a need to let a cycle close. And the cycle that needs to be closed is the cycle that's connected to where there was a sense of hurt Some may say betrayal. It all depends on how you want to look at it. But something happened here that felt like a betrayal, right? Something felt like a knife in the back. All right. I thought that there's multiple people that feel that in your situation, that it's not just you. Maybe this is the perspective that's not being acknowledged, you know? Everybody has their stuff, right? And usually, if you're embroiled in some kind of situation where there's multiple people involved or really heightened emotions, you'll find that there's a lot of mirroring that goes on. There's a reason why we draw certain soulmates, certain people to our lives to learn certain lessons. We mirror these lessons to each other, but what's on the other side of addressing this pain, sort of letting the cycle end and moving into a different space where it's like, okay, we get it, something happened here that didn't work, something happened here that caused a lot of pain, something happened here that created a sense of division where we see something totally differently from each other. And we each have our own view in this situation. And again, employ your intuition, okay? Because this is going to speak to you all on a different level. For some of you, this is happening in a relationship. For some of you, this is happening in a friendship or a friend circle. For some of you, this is happening in your community. It's happening in your career, on the job front. So you have to just lean into how it's communicating to you. But it's the overarching theme for the download coming in for you with this Venus Jupiter conjunction, that it's all about, in order for you to really move into expansion. All right. And it was 22:11 on the clock when I said that. This is about you coming into alignment. And it's also recognizing that your alignment involves some level of partnership. Like, there's something you need to bring together to be able to advance in the way that you want to. And there is a moving forward promised here, but there's some work that needs to be done. And I feel like part of that work with that justice card that came in associated with Libra, because Libra is going to take over the South Node from Scorpio in July. It's 22:44 on the clock. That lets me know I'm on the right track. This is about, these are building blocks towards your manifestation of what you want. You want to move forward, you want to have success, you want to get to this place where you have a sense of arrival, like, I've made it, I did it, I've hit that mark. So you can grow to the next level, right? Because it's always about continuing to grow. But I do feel like you have your sights set on something you want to head towards. There's something that you're wanting to create for yourself. There's something you're wanting to call in. And for you all, it's on a different level, all right? But I know that it's something real. It's something aligned with your heart. And to you, it's very simple. And you feel like the complication is coming from others, but it's because y'all have that view. You all have that view, and that's where you get polarization, what causes issues. Okay. So I think the central point here is like, okay, everybody's been hurt. That's what it looks like. Everybody's been hurt in this situation with the 10 swords. Everybody's been hurt. And everybody is looking at the situation through that lens of the hurt. Okay. And that's what continues to create the separation instead of doing the work to get the dialogue going, And yes, maybe certain truths do need to be spoken. But what we need to remember about truth is everybody has their own truth. And just because it's not how you feel about a situation or how they feel about a situation doesn't mean it's not true. It's true for them. That was their experience. We can't deny anybody that. So it's about acknowledging that. But I don't feel like you're scared to go there, man. I feel like you're ready to go there. I do. I feel like you're ready to go there. I don't feel like you're coming with any pretense at all. And I actually feel like your motivation at its core level is very pure. You're doing what you're motivated to do by your heart. You're listening to your intuition and where you're feeling led. You're responding to the energetic pull. And you've been awakened to this, you've been awakened to where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing right now. And it doesn't matter if that's hard for others on a certain level, which may come off as selfish to some, but the reality is it's like, I can't ignore the call, man. I got the call. I can't ignore the call. I got to rise up to it, man. That's what I feel. It leads you to 10 cups. Look at this. It leads you to 10 of cups. It requires you to be bold and daring with your communication. You know, that you take that risk. Maybe you've had your eye on certain situations for a while, or you've been considering making a particular move for a while. Maybe up till now, you've been a little bit more focused on kind of more of a strategic standpoint, as in, how do I handle this? Like, how do I approach this? What angle should I work? I don't think it's about working any kind of angle. It's about moving forward with a sense of purpose, you know, a sense of purpose, right? Air, fire on the board in this situation. Okay, so we have, of course, your energy, but also Leo and Aries. We also have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius there. Okay. Yeah, you know, I think that what's holding you back right now is you're very apprehensive, okay, with this 9 of Wands about what will come at you when you speak your truth, all right, with the Ace of Swords. But the thing is, when you got the Ace of Swords, you got to use it. You got to use it. And when you got the Ace of Swords is like that Ace of Spades. So if you want to know what that energy is about, just tune into that Motorhead song. There was another sign that got that song on the download. I don't remember. If somebody remembers that's tuning into this read, let me know what read that was. It came up recently for one of the signs. So that might be a clue for you. I'll try to figure it out. If I find out who it is, I'll pin it in the comments. Okay. Very interesting. Yeah. The communication is important. That truth is that Ace of Spades. You know, it's the game changer. The game changer. That's what I feel is really coming forward for you. A truth, a big truth. It's the game changer. And I feel like truth is on your side. You got to notice here, look, that sword, it has the crown um, on its tip, and we got the laurel uh, wreath leaves, you know, that are used to make that victory wreath, that 6 of Wands energy, rising above something that was challenging. That's the call. That's the call you got. Look, it's like the call, it's the communication, it's the speaking of the truth that's been held back. It brings you victory. That's the call you're being asked to rise to. Something you need to say, something you need to speak, some truth you need to reckon with. Judgment, I mean, it will be. What comes after that? Whoo! Yes, it brings a tower. Your truth brings a tower. You know, it brings down a house of lies. That's what I just got. Brings down a house of lies. It's electrifying. It's that Pluto in Aquarius energy. You're delivering a tower. You're delivering a tower with your truth. Yeah, some people are going to jump ship. You know, some people will jump ship when you deliver this truth. Some people will jump ship. You're going to shock them. You're going to shock them. I think it's good for you. It feels very revolutionary to me. You have too many positive cards, reinforcing cards of being in a place of strength, like being in a place of spiritual strength. This is definitely judgment in your favor. And if you are dealing with anything on any kind of legal level, you got justice on your side, judgment in your favor. You can count on that. All right. At least that's what the spirit team is telling you. You know, it looks like you got a lot of spiritual support on your side. Of course, if you're in some kind of legal, legal situation, you got to work with your attorney. I'm not an attorney, but it really looks like judgment in your favor. There's some truth that, you know, you're issuing it, and it turns a judgment in your favor, right? but it brings down, a house of lies. Brings down a house of lies. It's powerful. Mm-hmm. Some of you, this really, oh, I got sentience. Some of you, this really could involve a family dynamic. I'm picking this up really strongly. Mm-hmm. There's some communication blocked around this. Somebody's being really defensive in this situation. It's time to break through the defenses, though, and speak truth. It's very important in this matter. See anything else here? Yeah, this brings harmony. This brings alignment. This brings celebration. It restores things. It rights wrongs. That's what I got. It rights wrongs. Look at that home in the background. Right? And there's also somebody there that you come into alignment with. There's a lot of mutual love, appreciation. There's a sense of balance. I mean, this with the 10 of cups, with the 4 of wands, this can be healing a union that brings togetherness. In some cases, this is really bringing a family back together again. For some cases, this is about marriage, uniting with someone in marriage. Maybe a spontaneous proposal I just got, maybe somebody had a separation, they kind of popped off. Maybe they spoke some words that they wish they wouldn't have let fly out of their mouth. And then with some space, some distance, I feel like doing some healing work too. Oh my gosh, big sentient. For some of you, it's been like some kind of recovery work too. Maybe like getting over some kind of addiction or getting some kind of therapeutic support in some way. There was like some realization, there was some growth. Now, like communication is coming through. This communication could also be like a declaration of love and a desire to really come into union, For some, that's marriage, and for some, it's like really bringing a home together, bringing a family together. Mm-hmm. And for those of you dealing with any kind of like legal issues, it looks like judgment in your favor, and it's because the truth is on your side. There's some kind of truth on your side. There's some kind of bold move, You could have been using that page of swords energy to kind of get some intel. Maybe you got what you needed, You got what you needed to really, drive it home, drive it home, drive it home. Hmm. There's something about that home piece again. Interesting. Let's do a cut of the deck on that, and then we'll see if there's anything else that wants to come through. I feel kind of drawn to move on to another deck with you all. Let's see. Could have something to do with the Queen of Pentacles. That's Earth sign energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Look at this. It brings wish fulfillment. It also brings financial stability. Okay. Harmony. Yeah, this could have been somebody that you were separated from in the past with the King of Swords here. This is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Oh, this is interesting. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, you were really confused for a while. You were trying to make up your mind about what you should do. I see this. You felt really kind of like stuck. You felt like you were in a bind, You felt like you couldn't move forward towards your wish fulfillment. And you needed this time out. It felt difficult at the time to have this separation. You went into hermit mode big time. Look at this. You went into hermit mode. But you needed this so you could have a different view of this situation. You did a lot of healing work while you were in that phase of kind of like just like keeping to yourself, pulling your energy back. And because of that, you're now ready to manifest something. You're now ready to manifest something. You're ready to, I feel it's like healing a rift with somebody, coming back together with somebody, getting on the same page as somebody. and we see that star. This is like the hope that was promised on the other side of this healing work for you. And what comes next? We got King of Pentacles. All right. This is awesome energy here. So I feel like you're overcoming this Eight of Swords energy. You got out of your head. You're clear now. There's something that comes through. There's some kind of truth that comes through, or truth that you're speaking. Sometimes when you withhold communication, when you withhold your truth in a situation, it just sits there and it just rattles around your brain, and it causes you all kinds of stress and confusion and makes you feel like you're stuck when you're really not. And then as soon as you let the communication out and you speak your truth, you're now like freed up from that sort of oppressive energy that was keeping you stuck. And yeah, it might deliver a tower, right? It might totally disrupt what you currently got going on. It requires you to make a bold move, be a little daring, move in a different direction. Oh my gosh, I got so much sentience. But you do it, and then it lands you right where you want to be. You overcome what was keeping you from your wish fulfillment. And it looks like for you, it's about coming into partnership with somebody. Okay. So this is any strong placement in the chart. We got air sign energy, earth sign energy on the board here. Looks like you're dealing with those two elements predominantly. There's a little bit of fire here too, but you're fire, but you could also have another Sagittarius or an Aries or a Leo in the mix. We also got Gemini, Libra, Aquarius here, and Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, so any strong placement that really opens up the playing field. But what we're looking at here is actually seeing the rooting of coming together with somebody after a time of separation, but it required that you make a firm decision. And I also feel like it had something to do with you needing to cut something off to get wish fulfillment. We see with the bottom of the deck with what follows here. Oh my goodness. We got the Six of Wands, okay? And right, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So many of the signs are getting this. It's really wild. But I mean, I felt it coming in for a number of months now. Like, this is a time when there's going to be a lot of coming into union. There's going to be a lot of coming into union with soulmates. Some of those soulmates are, of the romantic love variety. Some of those soulmates are really important friendships. Some of those soulmates are a guide on your path that's going to lead you to the next big thing that's up ahead for you. But this union is coming about, all right? And we see that after the Six of Wands, you have the Two of Cups here. So yeah, you're coming into union with somebody. I feel like it's after a time of separation. And I say that because of the Judgment, because of the Justice, because of the Star, because of the Three of Swords. There's a boomerang effect to the Three of Swords, okay? I mean, sometimes the Three of Swords means delays. It means delays. It means holdups, okay? And I feel like that's what's been going on here in this situation. The timing hasn't been right. And what was holding up things coming into alignment was this truth that needs to be communicated that hasn't been, all right? You may be wondering, like, if I take this action, all right, or if I receive this communication, I feel like really honestly, for most of you, it's you doing the communicating, you speaking the truth. I feel that you're delivering the tower. And that's what gets everything moving, because maybe people were looking at things through a filter of their own shit. And so they were seeing things in a way that weren't actually in alignment with your truth and what you really feel. All right. There's something about you speaking your truth that changes everything. And where you might be kind of like in your head going, should I do this? Should I come forward with this? Should I speak this truth? If I speak my truth, will it lead to growth with that Seven of Pentacles, or is it going to lead to more disappointment? Which you can't see behind the disappointment, if you would turn around. If you move more future oriented with that Two of Wands energy, looking at what could be instead of what was, then you'll find coming into alignment with the Two of Cups. Their promise is a new beginning. When? Spring timing card, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so we got spring coming up on the 20th. Vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere on the 20th. That's what's closing out this month. So you're about to plant a seed. The seed is planted through your communication. And once you do this, there's something you're going to move away from. All right. It may tear down a direction you've been heading in. All right. But you're going to move toward your destiny, what's calling you. And it looks like you're moving toward an Empress. All right. Taurus, Libra. It's also speaking strongly to me of that Taurus North Node, which is about you understand what's of true value to you at this point. And it's not about the bullshit. It's not about the superficial shit. It's not about going for the person that gives you clout. It's not about going for the person that looks good on your arm. It's not about who your friends think you should be with, or who people think you should be working with because it'll give you an edge in business or any of that shit. It's about what you really feel in your heart has worth, has value. That's what matters to you. And you're heading toward that. And I see you nailing it, hitting the mark. 6 of Wands, uh, 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups. Yeah, oh my God. It's been real slow moving. There's been a lot of confusion. It's felt a bit like two ships passing in the night. There's times when it's been turbulent. There's times you were juggling things. Maybe you were juggling multiple people at one point. You might have been just feeling confused inside of yourself, trying to, figure out, what do I want to do here? Or, maybe just feeling like just very uncertain. Maybe one day it felt like, oh, I'm definitely making this choice. And then the next you would change your mind. It took you a while to come into a state of equilibrium. And again, anybody who is, oh my gosh, working with any kind of recovery, like trying to let go of some kind of addiction, it may have taken you time to even know what was right for you or what direction you should head into until you, could get that state of physical balance going on. I think it's been slow, all right, with the Knight of Pentacles. But you have been very much, never losing sight of your goal and what you wanted to achieve, where you wanted to end up, but it's taken a lot of like laying down the right foundation, I feel. And that applies both materially in terms of like just your success, your financial stability. It's also in emotional matters as well. Like you've been investing in this, you've been doing the groundwork. Look what comes in. The Emperor. This is Emperor to Empress. These are two people who've done the work and they're supposed to be coming together. It's a beautiful thing. Now, for those of you who are building a dream, okay, I'm going to bring it in because you could very easily, look at this and think that this is all about a romantic relationship. And it's absolutely a love story. And those that it is a love story for, you'll know it. You feel it. You already register it. You know this truth. Okay. You knew it was just a matter of time before you would reconnect with this person. I do feel like it has something to do with healing somebody you were healing with somebody you were connected with before. But this is what you need to think of, okay? Stay open. Healing with somebody you had been with before doesn't necessarily mean that is the person that you will end up with. It could be that you need to close that karmic cycle and have a healing communication so that you can move away from that situation in good conscience. And in doing this, it provides you the path that leads you to who you're supposed to align with, right? So there's a lot of ways that could work out on a romantic level. There's a lot of ways that can work out just in like healing a friendship connection as well, or family dynamic, all right? But there is this piece. There's this piece that for some of you, this is about you've been building a dream. You have a vision. You have a legacy you want to leave behind. You've been pouring a lot of time and energy into it. I think you've gone through several iterations of this vision. There's been times when you thought you were invested in one direction and then your vision kind of shifted, it changed. I could see this not only for people in some kind of like business pursuit, but I could also see it for creative types, maybe in doing some kind of like art installation or making an album, something like this. You know, I feel like there's been several like revisals of the work or the direction, what you were focusing your energy on bringing into being. It's gone through multiple revisions, but I feel like now you finally know, like, this is it. This is what I need to pour my energy into. And you've ended the cycle with those old directions. Um, but you're coming into alignment with somebody now. I feel like there's some person coming into your sphere that's going to be like a jump off point to like really launching this into a place of success. It's going to be like a big win. Okay. Big win. You got big win energy coming in for you. You're coming in out of the cold. That's what I got. You're coming in out of the cold. It's a beautiful thing. Let's get some super awesome future cards on the table for you. I just want to bring in a little fun. Yeah, look, with split of the deck, wish fulfillment. All right, might involve travel. That does have like a map. And you did have that Eight of Wands energy come in. So maybe after this communication takes place, this truth comes out, you do some kind of traveling. There might be some kind of travel involved that takes things to the next level, the next stage of development. All right. Do you feel like there's a lot of expansion for you in the area of communication, emotionally and in terms of like financial success, career success? It's all about you networking right now. And as far as putting yourself out there, just really just be stripped down, you know? It works in your favor anyway. People want real nowadays. They don't want the artifice. They don't want all the filters. They don't want all the image shit. They can see through it anyway. It doesn't, people can't connect with that. You know, people connect with somebody being, you know, themselves with them. Energy never lies, you know, that's the thing. So it's like if you're just kind of like going through the motions or following a formula, oh gosh, because you were told that this is what will lead to success, that's actually what's holding you back. It's like once you stop getting once you get out of your head and around all these like ideas, you know, that have been put in there by people saying, well, this is how you do it. No, you do it how you're led, you know, you hear the call and then you trust your gut and you follow where it leads you. Right. Let's see. Yeah, look, the breakup on the bottom of the deck. There is some ship that you're like, abandoned ship, man. I know where I'm heading off. I'm heading off to these calmer waters. I'm leaving all this behind. I mean, I think some people may feel like that after you deliver your truth. They may feel like you're abandoning me. How can you leave me with all of this mess? It was never your mess in the first place. That's what I got. It was never your mess in the first place. And too many people got involved in a situation that had, you know, nothing to do with that. It wasn't any of their business. It's your life. You definitely are, you know, ending one cycle to begin a new one. You're coming in a union with somebody. And there's a lot of expansion here with the spaceship. Okay. You're actually entering a brand new cycle. The spaceship is all about opening up to brand new experiences. It's going places you haven't been before, not only in your outer world, like traveling to places you've never been and getting to meet new people, having brand new experiences. It's also about people coming into your life, soulmates coming into your life. Some of these are people you've known before. They're coming back around the bend after a period of separation. There's been growth, and now your paths are meant to realign again for one reason or another. All right. Be open to what that expression could be, how that will flow from there. Don't get locked in your old ways of seeing things. Like anything is possible. 49 on the clock when I said that. Okay. That's like double 13 energy. All right. That might be significant in some way. It's also 13 plus 13 is 26. That's 8, so it's about manifesting, coming into alignment with your purpose. All right. That's what that energy is all about. It involves a change, though. You have to end one cycle to step into this new level of potential. And this is about brand new experiences. It's very much that 8 of Wands energy, but with that Jupiter twist, where it's like really expanding in this way. And again, if you're getting into anything that involves you doing work on the World Wide Web or having some kind of online platform, anything along these lines, anything to do with telecommunications, electronics, anything along these lines, you're really going to find you get huge expansion and success, right? It's like, oh, the places you go, the people you'll see, the experiences you'll have. It's just like an open up everything for you in a way you can't really see right now. And I think the more, I don't know why I'm getting this, okay? So this must be coming in for somebody. It's like the more far out you go, the better, don't do what everybody does. Maybe that's kind of what's held you back is you're like, I don't know if people will be into it. I mean, it's a little out there, or, it seems like everybody wants this other shit. Who cares? Do you want to put it out there? Put it out there, the right people will vibe with it. Look, it brings you huge abundance. All right. You got a lot of opportunities coming your way, but they require you to step outside the box. All right. It's not going to be like it was, not in any area of your life, even in the cases where you're coming back around the bend with certain people you haven't seen in a while. It's not going to be how it was. It's going to be a totally different experience. Totally different experience. And so this is about, not knowing, but just tuning into the frequency and paying attention to where the energy is calling you to go. That's what leads you to everything you're looking for. This is a brand new chapter for you. And you might feel like it's unfamiliar territory for a while. It might feel like you're a stranger in a strange land at times. You might not know where you're going at certain points, but this is one of those cases where the more you just trust where you're feeling pulled to go, the more reward comes in for you. You might be considering a move too, going somewhere where you don't know anybody, but maybe you just feel really drawn to this particular piece of land. It might require you to kind of like start over. That might be something that sounds really appealing to you right now. That's coming in for some of you, but I think you're going to find you're going to be guided along the way. There's a lot of synchronicity coming in for you. There's a lot of like kind of undeniable signs. I really get that. So pay attention because you got spirit leaving a lot of like breadcrumbs for you right now, pointing the right direction for you to go. But in order for you to get the memo, you got to pay attention. That's the beautiful thing about synchronicity. The more you pay attention, the more it comes in. All right, let's see. Anything else for Sagittarius collective for this Venus Jupiter conjunction? Anything else for Sagittarius with this Venus Jupiter conjunction? Anything else for Sagittarius with that Venus Jupiter conjunction? Yeah, it's time to move out of this cat lady mode, okay? You got 27, that's 9, it's ending a cycle, it's in reverse. Maybe some of you, for those of you coming into alignment in relationship, you may have, kind of felt like, oh, I'm just always going to be single. I'm going to, it's just going to be me and the cats. That's just the way it's going to be. You might be surprised you're going to be coming out of this. You got somebody coming in. Those days of kind of like just chilling at home, keeping to yourself are over. Like there's something that's asking you to move out of that comfort zone now and start actually like putting yourself out there. You're meant to move with that Jupiter energy and expand with it, not contract at this time. So if you have been kind of like keeping around the house, keeping to yourself, maybe having some kind of fear about opening up to other people or different kinds of experiences, now it's time to move out of that energy. And you'll find the more that you do, there's something really positive that comes out of that experience for you. Kind of the deck energy. We got the fox, okay? And we got the heart. All right. So what I really got here is, there's somebody you got your eyes on. The fox is all about stealth. Um, and or somebody's got their eyes on you, one of the two. I feel like they're kind of just like, figuring out their approach. That's what I pick up. There's a little planning involved in this, before you come forward. There's some person here that you're getting ready to approach. It might feel a little bit like fox in the hen house kind of action. You might be a little sly. There might be a little trickery involved here. I don't know. Foxes are also about camouflage. So I don't know. Are you dealing with somebody who is, got like a fake profile? Are you dealing with a catfish situation? Are you catfishing somebody? Are you using an alias? I mean, there's some kind. I feel like there's some kind of element like this involved. Some kind of like, sort of like keeping an eye on something, but it feels like it's covert. It's sort of like scoping something out. It's like moving in silence towards something, moving in silence towards something. Maybe you feel like if you didn't move in silence with that rooster energy, it might like tip somebody off and they'll go and like blab it all over the place and like blow your cover. I don't know. It's something about matters of the heart, though, bringing you into alignment with another. You got some very interesting energy, Sag. True wild card energy. It's everything Sagittarius loves. It looks like a little bit of adventure, a little truth talking, a little bluntness, but also some more expansion and good times, good vibes, positivity coming in. And you always have been the eternal optimist, Sagittarius, and it looks like you have every reason to be.